What is going on, you Stallions and Stallionettes? AK-40 Kevin here in the gamer heaven. I think there's a common misconception that in order to have professional sounding audio quality on stream, whether you're on Twitch or you're just making YouTube videos, or maybe you have a podcast, that you have to have some expensive microphone setup. I'm going to debunk that rumor today with this. Alrighty guys, over here at the Stormtrooper desktop, if you are new to the channel, this is where we do our unboxings as well as our custom controller builds, PC builds, and a whole lot of other fun stuff. So what we have here is the latest studio microphone from Fifine. Now, full transparency, Fifine did send this out to me. However, they did not tell me to say anything about this product, just to give an honest review about it. And if you look back a year and a half ago, I did do a full 5 microphone comparison in the budget, so like $50 to $60 range, to try and show you guys what kind of microphone quality you can look for in the $50 to $60 range. I think we compared like the Blue Snowball, 2 Fifine microphones, an Audio-Technica, and one other one. This came out first place. So Fifine's been making good microphones for a while. They're a relatively smaller microphone company when you look at something like Blue or Rode. But they also come with that smaller price point, but the performance really isn't that much of a gap. And the thing is that you have to think about that people rarely do is when you're streaming to Twitch or you're screen recording for YouTube or something like that, that gets compressed so savagely, especially if you're streaming, that there's really not too much of a negligible difference between a $100 USB mic and like a $2,000 XLR microphone with a $2,000 mixer. Now, if you think I'm just talking out of my rump or something like that, Harris Heller, who has a background in audio engineering and also has a channel specializing in getting people set up streaming and whatnot, did a test with his $6,000 Blue Kiwi, and it sounded virtually the same with equalizer settings and whatnot in the PC, which I will be showing you in this video how to do. With some basic plugins and settings in OBS, it sounded virtually identical, like almost indistinguishable from a $6,000 XLR mic. So you have this card in here, and I gotta say, Fifine has definitely stepped up their game over the last year and a half since I tested their last microphone product. Like, this packaging is really good. It's got foam in here, it's got a good instruction manual, great attention to detail, like even the box looks really pretty, so they're stepping their game up. It has their socials on here, Facebook, and a contact email. And I did run a little test and sent just a kind of a test email to their customer support, and it took them, I want to say 12 or 13 hours to get back. So it was within the same day. So you can rest assured they do actually monitor that mailbox. It's not some just scam mailbox in India or something. It's actually monitored. So that's really nice. And this gives you a little thank you for buying their product, and lets you know if you have any issues troubleshooting to go on their website and email them. You have your instruction manual here, which is actually really nice. It has color, it has pictures, how to set up drivers, whether you're on Mac or PC. Hopefully you guys are on PC or I have to disown you. Just kidding. We love our Mac brethren as well. So you have some foam in here, which houses the actual microphone. Nice. So lifting this back, you have your microphone in here, held in place absolutely perfectly by this laser cut foam. So again, like, there are companies out there, I'm not going to name any names, okay? But there are companies out there that are charging $150, $250 or more dollars for their USB microphones, and they don't have laser cut foam and a color instruction manual. Just saying, but I know what really counts is the audio quality on this bad boy. All right, so you have a very nice cable. This looks like yeah, this is nice. You have a Fifine branded cable tieback. Really nice. This isn't braided or microfiber or anything like that, but that's really cool. You have a USB-C in here, as well as a USB. So that way, depending on what input you're going to be using, you have 2 different options there with a little jumper cable. So that's nice. And then this is obviously the proprietary plug for the bottom of a USB microphone. They all use this type of plug right here. You do have a little cap to keep dust out of your USB cable, which is nice. You have a little tripod stand here. And this is really cool. I like this quite a dang bit. They have a pop filter here, which is also really sleek and compact. So if you are streaming, you're gaming, One of my biggest complaints is traditional pop filters. Traditional pop filters like this are pretty big and bulky, and you can actually see it in your peripheral vision when you're gaming and whatnot, and it just takes up a whole lot of your vision. Not a huge fan of that. This fits nice and secure over the front of the microphone, and it's not really going to impair your vision. This is actually a pretty high quality pop filter. It has 2 layers of fabric in there to, you know, stop those hard, harsh P's from popping when you're Peter Piper pickling some peppers or whatever on the mic. You're not getting those harsh pops, which is nice. But if you don't want to run the pop filter, I am going to show you settings that you can utilize. Compressor, equalizer, and noise gate, because I personally don't want a pop filter on my Blue Yeti Blackout on the Yeticaster boom arm behind me over there. That's my primary microphone, but I have a feeling this might be right up there with it, and that's like $200. So this mic retails for $50 or $53 to be more specific. $52.99 to be real specific. So you have this tripod stand here. This thing is actually really heavy. I know I'm a pretty weak dude and whatnot, but man, this feels really sturdy, especially considering this mic isn't very heavy itself or anything. And you do have these rubberized feet on here, so that's nice. This thing's not going to be sliding around or anything like that, which is pretty nice. I also like that they're really wide. That way it's a really stable platform. They're not like some very narrow tripods where you feel like you could just touch it and it's going to tip over. Between the rubberized feet and the wide feet, I think that's really, really nice. We'll try it on the tripod, but I do also want to see if I can get it on the Yeticaster boom arm as well. So in order to get this mounted on there, you have this little threaded adapter here. This thing does swivel and whatnot, so you're just going to screw it in like this. Awesome, awesome. Tighten it up so it's not swiveling around. Now the microphone itself has a very, very premium and durable feeling metal body. Again, not really what you'd expect from a $50 mic. You do have a mic monitor gain knob right here. You do also have an LED light here, which I'm assuming not only shows you that you're getting power, but probably also changes color or flashes or something when you press this mute button here. The mute button itself actually feels, I didn't really think I'd say anything about the button, but it feels really clicky and really tactile. So that's interesting and nice. It's a pleasant surprise. Also, I have to say this is a very, very handsome looking microphone. It's kind of a flat matte black, and it just looks very classy, like this would go with damn near any setup. It's not like, it doesn't have some huge red pinstripe down it or some crazy crap like that. This definitely seems like it would go with anybody's setup for sure. All right, so we'll rotate it that way. Let's get this pop filter on there, which I'm assuming just, holy shit. That's the last time Fifine's gonna send me anything. Yeah, it just, okay, cool. I see how it works. You just pull back on this rubber pull here, and it stretches the elastic band out, and you're able to slip this over the top like that. Awesome. That's a really nice looking pop filter design. I like that quite a bit. We are going to do some audio comparisons with and without the effects that I'm going to show you guys, the plugins. I'm going to show you how to install those, and we'll do some side-by-sides with the Blue Yeti Blackout on the Yeticaster shock mount and boom arm. Again, that's like a $200 setup. And then this $50 mic over here, so a quarter of the price, 25% of the price. And we'll see if it has 25% of the quality. I don't think it will. Alrighty guys, we're over here at my PC, as you can see. Going to go ahead and share my screen with you so I can show you some plugins that you're going to want to download for OBS. These work with traditional OBS or Streamlabs OBS. I personally recommend running Streamlabs. It has a cleaner user interface, has all the tools of traditional open broadcaster software, but some more as well. So you're just going to Google Reaper OBS or Reaper plugins or replugs, and it's going to take you right here to this first link, reaper.fm, and you are going to download Reaper right here in the top left. If you're not running on a baked potato or your parents' sticky computer down the basement that God knows what happens on that one, you're going to want 64-bit most likely, and it's going to automatically start the download. It's very small. I believe it's about 50 megabytes or something. Do not rename the folder for that. Just keep it exactly the default, and that is because when you go into OBS or Streamlabs OBS, let me pull it down from my top monitor here, it's automatically going to look for your new plugins, your new audio plugins in that folder here. So right here you see my my Yeti microphone. OBS and Streamlabs OBS recommend at a normal speaking volume that you're in the yellow. You know, even if you get in the red, you're not going to start peaking or anything like that because of the plugins I'm going to show you guys. They keep you from really getting excessively loud, or also if you're talking kind of quiet, it'll kind of boost up what you're saying as well. First of all, to pick an audio source, I should probably show you guys how to do that. You're going to go into audio here, and desktop audio, this is going to be your headphones or your speakers. I leave it on default because sometimes I play out of speakers, and sometimes I have, you know, 90% of the time I'll have headphones on, and it'll default to whatever Windows is producing audio out of. Now over here for microphone, I have all these different microphone devices here. A lot of these are just software programs like NVIDIA Broadcast and stuff. That's the built-in boom arm in my headset. Don't want to use that, that's for sure. And then my main mic over here, which is the Blue Yeti. So you're going to select that, and then you're going to see it start registering your voice over here. You can adjust the volume and all that good stuff. And you're going to click on the cog icon. You're going to click on filters over here. As you see, I already have 3 of them applied. But if you didn't, which you won't when you first open this up, you're going to hit the plus icon over here. And there's all these built-in default ones that are in Streamlabs, and they're okay. They work, but not great. For example, they have a compressor, they have a noise gate, they do not have an EQ, but we're going to add our own compressor and noise gate because they work better through replug. So you're going to go to VST 2.x plugin, hit done. You're going to rename them whatever you want, so it'll be, you know, equalizer or compressor, whatever, and then you're going to hit done. I'm going to hit cancel because I already had these added, but once you do add them, it's going to pop up right here, and then you're going to select your new plugins here. So they all have these really clever names from Reaper plugins. For example, their compressor is called Recomp, their equalizers Req, their noise gates called Regate, whatever. So you select whatever matches up with the title that you named. So noise gate is my Regate, EQ is my Req, compressor is my Recomp, and then you're going to click on open plugin interface here, and it's going to open this little window right here. Now it does matter in OBS what order you have these effects in. So the first effect you want to have on is called noise gate, and basically what noise gate does is when you're not talking, it'll cut out the fan noise from your PC, or, you know, if you have an overhead ceiling fan, or there's some kind of like whirring or humming that comes out of your house, or you have roommates and they're constantly, you know, whispering in each other's ears, sweet nothings or something. When I stop talking, you'll see that that green bar drops below the threshold that I've set, and that cuts out my fans. Now I'll show you what that sounds like if I did not have that set. But you also don't want this set up too high, or else it's going to cut out portions of your voice, not talking loud enough. And it's going to cut out portions of your voice, which you really don't want. So this is the first thing you're going to set up is your noise gate. Just completely stop talking and wait for the bars to settle, and then set this a couple decibels higher. But as soon as I say anything, even quietly, it starts picking up the sound waves, which is good. Now over here in the equalizer, you guys probably know what an equalizer is, but if you don't, it allows you to adjust different frequencies from very low booming noises to very high treble. And, you know, this is how my voice, personally, how I like to have it sound. So as you see, as I'm talking here, it shows you in real time my sound waves coming out of my voice. And I like to have the bass a little bit boosted to make me sound like a real manly man. I like to cut down on the mids, which generally sound muddy, especially on a USB microphone. I cut those down just a skosh, and I add a little bit of bright highs. Now the highest highs here, I leave these down just a skosh. And also when you click on these individually, you want to select band. By default, it's going to be low shelf. And so by selecting band, it allows you to have more precise control over each one of these. So instead of pulling down 2 and it's yanking down 1 and 3 with it, if you select band, it just allows you to adjust that one singular band there. Finally, the compressor. This is also quite important because when you get really loud or really quiet, this is what's going to control that here. So as you see, when I get a little bit noisy, it shows how many negative decibels here. Negative 2.7, raging, rage quit. Negative 4.1 there. So you set a threshold here when you're getting a little bit louder than you generally do. So this is my general narration voice talking, blah, blah, blah. But then I rage out, oh, come on, reload. and it'll cut down on that voice there. And then if you want it to actually reduce your loud sounds a little bit more, you can adjust the attack here. And then also, if you want to mess with it, you can mess with wet as well. Or no, it's dry attack. Dry and attack, that's what you're going to adjust. But for me, I leave all that default, and I just set this exactly where I want my voice to start getting reduced if I start getting a little bit loud. And also, when you're talking quietly, it's also going to give you some positive amplification as well. So that's really nice. So those are the 3 plugins that we're going to be using for the remainder of this tutorial. So we're going to go ahead and close out. And we're going to switch over to the Fifine, because I am real curious to hear what that bad boy sounds like. Oh, and real quick, just a little test. Let me pull up an audio, or pull up a Word doc real quick and start typing. Give you guys the old type test. Now, my switches in here, I do have Razor mechanical greens, or tactile greens. They are lubricated with spray lube. And I also do, what the hell? Microsoft Office not activated. Excusez-moi. I don't think so. So we'll do a little quick type test here. Try and talk while I type a little bit. Well, I can't type for shit. There we go. This is what I would sound like if I was streaming or gaming. I can't spell streaming or gaming. All right, cool. All right, so this is with the Fifine K683. It's about 6 inches away from my mouth on the tripod stand with the pop filter on, and it looks like those 3 filters are already activated, or should be. So the light on the front is green when you are not muted, and then if you mute, it becomes red, which is pretty cool. Also, that knob is not for headphone volume. It's actually for microphone gain, which I would prefer anyway. Again, if you're only going to have one knob, I would definitely prefer it be a gain knob for the actual volume. So if you turn it down, test, or if you turn it all the way up, now all I have to do is whisper, and it gets pretty goddamn loud. All right, so this is at about 50%, and I think this is probably the sweet spot. Let's make sure these filters are all aligned with what we need it for. Let's get this thing mounted on the Compass 3 boom arm and get it right in front of my face, just like I would do with my Blue Yeti here. We'll do a little type test and whatnot, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts about the build quality and basically sheer bang for buck on this freaking thing. All right, so I have this bad boy on the old Compass 3 boom arm over here, and I have to say a couple things that I like about it more than the Blue Yeti Blackout. Right off the bat, first of all, it is quite a bit smaller, so it takes up less of my field of view, which is great because not only is the Blackout really large, but it's also very, very heavy. So I actually had to readjust the tension bands in my boom arm here because this mic is probably about half the weight, but it doesn't feel like half of the durability or quality. This is still an all-metal body here. It's not like it's plasticky or anything like that. It feels really good. Let's do a type test and see what that sounds like. But I gotta say, I mean, this has all the features you really need. It has headphone monitoring for your voice. It has a gain knob on it. It has a mute. So if somebody comes in, starts saying some crazy stuff in your room, and you don't want to get banned from Twitch, you can just mute it real quick. Comes with a pop filter. Like, the $200 Yeti doesn't come with a pop filter on it. That's crazy. All right, let's do a little type test, boys. Simulate the WSAD keys and spacebar. All right. Double kill. Okay. Cracked his armor. Oh, reloading. Cover me. All right, sweet. So I gotta say, all in all, this thing is pretty damn impressive. I gotta say, get my mouth closer to the mic. Actually, I'll probably sound better like that. Again, my boom arm still isn't fully adapted to this microphone yet. Those tension springs in there have been set up for the Blue Yeti for almost a year now, so I probably need to adjust them a little bit more for this lighter microphone. But I gotta say, also the fact that it swivels very easily like this, so if I am in a different angle or something like that, or I have it down low, I can rotate it still towards my mouth, toward the capsule in there. This is a cardioid pattern capsule, so it is going to pick up directly in the front of the mic, so it's not like a stereo one that's going to pick up from the left or right. Definitely not the back of the body here. So you want to obviously talk directly into it, which is the side that has the gain knob and the Fifine logo on it.
And I gotta say, like, Fifine has really come a long way. I thought they were good about a year ago when I tested their product, but now that, for one, they sent me a free mic, so I appreciate that. But I don't feel like anybody that gets this is gonna feel like they don't sound professional on stream, or they can't make good YouTube content, or you can't even run a good podcast or something. This thing sounds pretty goddamn sultry. It sounds pretty seductive. All right, I'm gonna pull you guys out of my computer so I can look you right in the eyeballs when we close this video out. Fifine has actually really impressed me here this evening. So this is my usual here, my Blue Yeti blackout, and I gotta say, this thing sounded just as good. That's really awesome. Also the fact that it is quite a bit smaller, so that way it's out of my vision a lot more. It's a lot lighter, so when I'm moving my boom arm around and stuff like that, it's just a lot easier to position, which is really nice. Again, I do need to adjust my spring tension in here, but that's not any fault of the mic. I like that pop filter. I like the fact there's a gain knob on there. And I mean, overall, for $50, I think I sounded pretty dang good. I don't feel like anyone that wants to stream or make YouTube videos would be bummed out by getting this bad boy here. So I gotta say, honestly, pretty darn good microphone. That is my honest opinion. But I do want to know what you guys think. That's what really counts here. You guys heard all the audio samples and whatnot. Let me know in the description down below which microphone you thought sounded better. And even if the Yeti did sound better through your ear canals, through your ear sockets, was it four times as good? That's the thing, because it's $200 mic versus a $50 mic. So was it 4 times as good? I don't know. I don't know, guys. You be the judge. There will be links down in the description below to both these microphones if you are interested. And if you like this kind of content, consider subscribing for more videos like this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.